Hi guys, I know I'm a day late on this video, but I really had no idea what to do. And I was actually pretty busy lately, but I'm gonna tell you guys a story today about the first time that I noticed that I was feeling down. So here we go. So honestly, I remember this day very vividly, because I really started to like this one guy, and he was actually a few years younger than me, and he will probably watch this video, and he lived next door to me, and his friend became my friend and found out I liked him and then told him. And I remember this day because I had hung out with her, and I got home and I was just laying on my living room floor that night on Instagram when I decided to go under a hashtag and just look at a bunch of sad pictures, and then all of a sudden it hit me that obviously something was wrong. I didn't quite understand it at this point, but I knew that I wasn't happy if I was looking at all these pictures, and I didn't know why. And after that night, I found myself in my room alone at night a lot more, and I found myself slowly losing sleep and thinking really awful things. And honestly, I really didn't know what was happening until the night I finally picked up a blade. And it was actually a really scary moment for me, because I still didn't know what was happening, and just that feeling all of a sudden made me feel better, and it shouldn't have made me feel better. It should have actually made me feel worse. And looking back on it now, it does make me feel horrible that I did that. And I want all of you to learn from my experience. Don't do the experience yourself, because it's an awful experience, and looking back on it, it just makes you feel horrible, thinking that at one point you were so low that you felt the need to do that to yourself. And I just want you all to know that me having gone through it, I am always here to talk to you, and I can help you and give you advice through anything that I can. I know there really wasn't much of a story, but I honestly have no idea what to talk about today, because I was supposed to do this video yesterday, and I've been really busy, and I haven't had time to think about anything. But I just want you guys to know the early signs, like finding yourself in your room, wanting to be alone, finding comfort in darkness, and thinking really bad thoughts. Like, don't just think that if you're thinking really bad thoughts that it's just a bad day. If it's been happening for a while, then something's probably wrong. And not being able to sleep is a big sign also. I am in the middle of my recovery, and I have had, the past 3 nights have just been horrible. I haven't slept through the night once, and I haven't gone to bed once without crying before I went to bed these past 3 days. And honestly, that scares me, because I feel like I'm slowly starting to fall back, but I'm determined to keep myself away from that, and I'm not going to fall back, because I have a great support system on my Instagram, and I'm hoping to form a great support system through YouTube, and I plan to be a good support system for anyone, and I don't want to fall back and not be able to help those who help me. And I've had a few people DM me and ask for help, and I'm so proud of you, because just messaging someone who is recovering to ask them to help you recover is brave, and it just shows that you yourself are ready to recover. And I'm here 24/7. Even if it's really late at night, you can just keep messaging me until I wake up. Even if you just need something to occupy you, just keep messaging me random stuff, and I'll either wake up or it'll just be something to occupy yourself. You can send me random things. You can send me stories through emojis. You can do anything to occupy yourself. And one thing I really like to do when I don't know what else to do is I pick up my sketchbook or my paints, and I just let whatever's inside of me come out onto the paper or the canvas, because then you can create some really amazing, beautiful things, and you can also get whatever's going on in your mind out, and it actually helps you feel a lot better. And especially if you practice, then you can start doing it on your free time, not just when you're upset, and then slowly you'll lose yourself in your artwork, and then you won't feel the need to do other things. And like, I honestly picked up art as a way to feel closer to my father, because he was a really good artist and he wasn't around for me much in my childhood, but that's why I picked up art. But you can pick up art for a million different reasons. Honestly, I love art. You can look behind me, that's a lot of my artwork. This one's kind of flopped down, but yeah, that's a lot of my artwork, and there's more up top there, because honestly, art is a big thing in my life, and I just want you guys to know that there are a million reasons not to go through with things like this. Even if you are feeling extremely low and down, don't do it. Just learn from my experience. Read my experience on that website. It's not on my bio anymore, but if you want to read it, then just message me and I'll send you the link. If any of you guys want my kick, it is Daydream61166. It is DAYDREAM 61166. That way you can get a hold of me anytime. I usually use that. I don't really like to text, and I don't feel comfortable giving my number out on YouTube, so that is my kick if you ever want to talk. And I just hope you guys get better, because choosing recovery, again, is the best thing I have ever done, and I'm getting there, even though I still have my bad nights. And just because the last 3 nights have been horrible doesn't mean that I am not still on the road to recovery, because I am, and I'm not going to give up. And I don't want you guys to give up, and I don't want you guys to do anything, because it's horrible. It's just a really bad experience. Because I didn't tell you much of a story, I'm going to tell you one more story here at the end. I'm going to tell you the story about when I first got the note on my desk, and at the end I'll show you the note actually. I had already been really emotional the past week before this happened, because I was really close with a friend, and things started going downhill with us really fast, and I was already really upset about him. And I walked in the art room, and he was supposed to be coming in there, and I walked in, he wasn't there, and that already kind of upset me a little bit. And I figured maybe he'll come in later, and I walked to my desk, and there was this note on it. And I read it, and it instantly brought me to tears, and I was crying, hoping that the art teacher would not walk into my studio. And she didn't, and I was just sitting there crying, and then my friend walked in, and he didn't notice at first that I was crying, and he just kind of sat there, and he wasn't sure what to do. And eventually he looked up at me, and he was like, "Who left this?" And I said, "I don't know." After I finally gave it to him, he had to ask me a bunch of times what was wrong, and I just had the note in my hand, and I wouldn't open it. And he was like, "What's wrong?" And I finally handed it to him, and he opened it, and he read it, and he said, "Who wrote this?" And I said, "I didn't know." And he said, "You should show the art teacher." And I said, "No, I don't want to." And I cried the rest of that period, and I finally stopped myself for a little bit, and the bell rang, and I didn't do anything in that class. The bell rang, and I went to walk to my next class, which was my last class, and another friend saw me in the hallway and walked up to me. I was like, what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong? Which instantly sent me back into tears. And I continued to walk down the hallway, and I found my boyfriend, and I just hugged him, and he kept asking me what was wrong, and I wouldn't tell him. And I was at my best friend's locker, and she kept asking me what was wrong, and I wouldn't tell her either, until we got to my last class, and I handed her the note, and she asked who wrote it, and I said I didn't know. And then I showed my guy best friend, and he instantly got really mad and asked the teacher if he could go to the bathroom, which he didn't. He went to the art room, and he talked to the art teacher about it, and she said that I needed to come to her about it, and I didn't. So after the next couple days, I just kind of walked to the room, and didn't say anything to anybody. And there's two other girls that are in my art room when I'm in there, and they were one grade above me. And one particular day I walked into the art room, and they just followed me, and one of them said, "Hi, beautiful," and the other one said, "How are you doing today, gorgeous?" And I was like, "Hi," and one of them just looked at me and went, "Can I see that note?" And I was like, "The one that someone left on my table?" And she said, "Yes." So I handed it to her, and she read it, and she said, "Can I go show the art teacher?" And I said, "Sure, if you want." So she left to go show the art teacher, and then the art teacher walked in and told me to sit down, and I did. And she told me that she considers herself a mother figure to me when I am in that school, not just her room. So if anything ever happens like that in any room, not just hers, she wants me to be able to talk to her, and she wants me to be able to just tell her when I'm upset, and we can figure things out together, and she just wants me to be able to come to her. And I agreed that now, if anything else happened, I would come to her. And I love her. She is my favorite teacher. She's my role model. Okay, here is the note that was left on my art table. By the way, the picture that was drawn I did in my calligraphy pens. It's M+A, which stands for Michaela plus Adam. Adam is my boyfriend, and this is what someone left on it. If you can't read it, I will read it in just a minute. It says, "Flirts with everyone, uses friends, is hugely fake, says be yourself," and then copies Tyler. Tyler is actually my best friend, and we do a lot of things the same, and we act the same, and that's just because we're best friends. I don't copy her, but yeah, that was the note, and I just want you guys to know that I am here for you whenever you want, and I love you, and stay strong.